them know that we are the American indigenous. Copper color Indians, baby. A real African Americans here, but they recently moved here from places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Zaire. But not a brother whose family's lived in this country for generations, occupying space in all the locations: New York, Miami, LA, Detroit, Chicago. Even if he's wearing a dashiki and sporting an afro. And if you go to Africa in search of your race, you'll find out quick you're not an African American. You're just a black American in Africa taking up space.
And we are not Africans. We are not African. Are you an African American? Huh?
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far away I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense, but nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So yeah, don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants, and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion, we probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering, I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even at my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big yellow figures ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Oh, hey now. Yep, I'm getting into it early. I'm not playing all this music today. Hey, girly girl. Hey, Lika, Carlos, and everybody watching, smash the like button. Because I know the Pan Boo-Boos is sitting back with their eyes like this. Hey, my Lisa. And girly girl. Carlos and Darius. Hey, y'all. And everybody watching, smash the like button, y'all. Because you know the Pan Boo-Boos be waiting and hating at the same time. Them chicks over there is funny as hell. They so corny, man. They're just a lost cause. And I think what I want to do today, and we got enough people up here to get it popping. Smash the like button, y'all, so we could get 20 people up in this piece. Because if I got 20 people, I'm good. Seriously. They can catch the rewatch. Hey. So today I want to focus in on you thinking logically. Okay? We have one thing as mainland Indians, Aboriginals. The one special thing about us, because we have so many racial classifications, colors, so many identities. The very special thing about us is that we have our evidence and proof, and we have these agents, and a lot of them are into African American studies. A lot of them are foreigners. A lot of them stand on their records from their countries, or a lot of our people. They stand on their records. And the sad thing is, their records don't specifically identify them as Africans or African Americans. There are no documents for mainland Indians that specifically identify them as African Americans. Okay? Our ancestors, period, were never identified as African Americans. It's not possible because it didn't exist. And we know that by common sense. So, what a lot of our people are doing, and it's sad, but this comes from a low quality education, and it really hurts. You know, it's sad to see a grown man stand on Reconstruction records. That's the sad part. They don't, hey, karma, it's a sad thing. And we have to, and yes, it's sad, and it takes bitter arguments, you know, but it's a shocker because they've been standing on people that they look up to with the utmost respect. And it's like a baby does his mother or father. They hold you to the highest respect, especially if it's an individual. Now I'm going by the individual. If it's an individual that really, and this happens a lot in our communities, not to say that everybody. So when I say things, please stop taking things personal. When I say our community, I don't mean everybody, but everybody has a story. Everybody has a story of hurt. Everybody has a story of pain from their families. And a lot of times it's our parents, from our parents. And so when you meet someone in the community that's older than you, you tend to look up to them and you give them trust. And then when you give them trust, there comes loyalty no matter what. And that's what's happening in our community. And the sad part is a lot of our people that feel like they owe people loyalty because they learned something from them, but they don't take things further. Education is something you learn every day. It's not one set thing and that's it. It's over. You learn something new every day. And here's the thing that I want you to understand. When you're learning and you're researching means looking everywhere. The more you dig, the more treasures you find. And that's a fact. And the more you use common logical sense, the more that is exposed to you, because you can look at something for so long and you can read something for so long and go back and 2 weeks later you find something else. That's how you research. When you read something and you have made a determination, then you wait 2 weeks and come back and read the same thing. You get to look at it from so many different perspectives. One sentence is a complete statement, And a complete statement can mean so much. It can. That's a fact. A paragraph, if a complete sentence means so much, and you could come back and find so much information just from one statement, one complete statement, guess what? When you read a paragraph, you get a whole goddamn book. You can't even move to the next paragraph because so much has been revealed to you. And what makes that happen, how that happens to you? When you let go of everything you've been taught and everything you've been standing on to be truth. That's how that happens. And it's literally unindoctrination. Unindoctrination is opening your mind to something else that you've never took a look at. And when you begin to do that, when you begin to open your mind and look at things from another perspective, that's when you learn that you've been heavily indoctrinated, even by someone who you've been given your loyalty to and trust to. You can't let people, this is something that we have to learn as a people. Even if it's me, you can't let people control your mind until you, the individual, take control of your mind and your thoughts. That's when you begin to exercise the God in you. There's a God in everybody. When you have control of your own mind, that's when you exercise the God in you. Because anything you want to find out about your blood lineage, it's going to come to you crispy clear. Blood connects with blood. Energy connects with energy. And you always have to remember that. So when you're reading, okay, when you're researching history, you're looking in other eras of time. And you're looking, and it's going to be that moment when you're reading history in your ancestors' time that you're going to literally be sitting there while all this shit is going on. That's when you know your blood has connected with your ancestor. When you're reading information about your ancestral history, you're going to literally be sitting there watching what's going on. It's the blood that does that. It's the energy that takes you there. You could call it astral traveling back in time. You call it what the hell you want. But to me, I say it's blood. It's blood. It's that same blood going back in that time. Because blood repeats itself. Blood don't change. That same blood that your ancestor have, you have. So now that blood, now you got to go back in time. When you're reading, you have to go back in time to when your ancestor was there. And when you do that, you got to be away from people. You do. You got to find an escape when you're reading a damn paragraph. You can't read a paragraph on YouTube with 8 people on the fucking panel. Because every evil spirit is going to do everything in their power to take your mind off of focusing. So when you go back, and even when you watch a YouTube segment, seriously, when you watch a YouTube segment, you got to be alone watching it. Seriously. You catch a lot of shit when you're analyzing. When you're analyzing, you got to be alone. You can't analyze with people. If you're exercising the God in you, you have to be alone to do that. You can't have company when you're exercising the God in you, because exercising the God in you consists of meditating, focusing, concentrating. And when you learn that when you're reading, you're going to learn when you've been indoctrinated into someone's rhetoric just because you love them or just because you look up to them. And that includes me too. You know when something's wrong or when you struck a nerve, because for every action, it's a reaction. No one that studies for many years like to be questioned. No one. The very first people that lash at you are the same people that don't practice what they preach. Uh, Pastors, everyone know pastors are number one for that. Think of how pastors are when you ask them a question about their Bible and they can't answer it. The energy in them becomes angry. And the first thing you are to them is trouble. That's not only the pastor, that's to any college professor, that's to any philosopher, psychologist, anyone who thinks that they're a master at their shit or a doctorate at their shit. When you ask them a question and they can't answer it, you become their enemy. You become the worst thing in the world to them. But a true God that's questioned will respect you. And they're supposed to respect you. They're not supposed to be angry with you when you question them and they can't answer it. What a true God will do will bow together with you and respect you, because they know the attitude that they should have is, she's exercising the God in her like I did. And now I'm questioned. What makes them a God is when they agree and give you your flowers and say, and they can't answer the question right away. I'm sure they can go and find the answer when they get time. But a response with anger and disgust and name calling and threatening life is not a response of a God, a confident God. A confident God would say, you know what? I can't answer that, but I'm going to give you your flowers because you're exercising the God in you. Because a lot of bullheaded motherfuckers don't like to be questioned. And there are people that literally have jobs to do and they're paid to do what they do. So you have to separate them. Hi, Choctaw, Montana. How you doing? People have jobs to do and they're part of other communities here in YouTube. So their job is to continuously come and question you. And you have over 100 people in the chat room that clearly see, hey, baby girl, Monty. People, there's hundreds of people watching your lectures and the information you're putting out, and they clearly see, see the truth. And they feel the truth. Because the truth is not only something you see, you feel the truth. You feel the lie too, and you feel the truth. But here's the thing. and I'm speaking to all content creators in YouTube. When there are when there's only one or two people that cannot see the truth, and but then you have 100 and something, 50 and up that clearly see it, and it helps the other 50 people to look at something another way and then go back and look. You got to understand that you're doing an excellent job, because now you got, as a creator, content creator, you have hundreds and thousands of people that see the truth, and you're giving them the food that they need. They, you're giving them food that they can digest, and they could go back and be. Hang on, y'all. I'm just gonna let her know I'm live. Sorry about that. You're giving hundreds of people from all zip codes another way to look at something, and you're also helping them heal their self on the inside. You're also enhancing the knowledge that people already have. You're really literally creating warriors from an internal perspective. So when I lecture in YouTube and I see my Aboriginal sisters and brothers looking at the lecturing that I'm showing, I feel good, because I see that I've helped somebody, and they're going to go back. A lot of our people that are embracing with us in YouTube, they're the ones that like to go back at night and read stuff and look. So that's why they're always here every day, because they want to go back, and it helps them figure out what they've been thinking. And it also um, gives them inspiration, because sometimes we're not confident in our own literature. But when somebody's literature connects with yours and yours connects with theirs, that's how you begin to embrace with each other. And that's how you get your audience to want to come and be with you every day and embrace with you. And I don't need 1,000 people in my chat. I'm good with I'm good with 20 and more. And I just keep it moving. Because at some point, I believe that we're all going to start loving each other better. I believe it. And I also believe that we're all going to come to a common understanding that we are from this soil, because there's so many thousands of us that are understanding that we are from this soil. And content creators like myself, Ab, Chief, Cuddy, A1, Dane, everybody, Top Cats, all of us are bringing the people together. But it's going to become that day when we all just completely understand that it's religion that's messing us up, but we're all these aboriginals that's just been hidden and voided. We're going to learn. And I believe we'll start learning that, if we haven't already, many of us, with today's segment, because we all have different tools for you to look at. And we all come from different working backgrounds when dealing with this government, whether we're in a private sector or a public sector. Public sector is state. Private sector is private. It's exactly what it is. Private business owners in corporate worlds. So When I show you things, I show you from the public sector perspective because it is what the public sector did to us. And it's not like, oh, Sister Bethy's going and pulling government stuff from her job. And no, that's not what it is. And I can't begin to explain, express that enough. All governments in the 50 states, documents, emails, everything is open to the public. And you can request it. Because one thing about the 50 states, they work for us. We don't work for them. And that's the first thing you have to keep in your mind. All the 50 states, all the 50 agencies across these states, and every agency in each state, we don't work for them. They work for us. That is one of the first legal things that I want my people to understand. A lot of our senators will not tell you that. They won't. And that's a fact. State government works for you. You do not work for them. We're the taxpayers. We pay their salaries. You got to understand that. Same thing with unions. Unions work for us. We don't work for them. We pay their salaries. That's why you pay union dues. As citizens, you pay taxes. We hire them to manage our tax dollars. That's a fact. But our senators won't teach you that from that perspective. They are hired to manage and govern our states. We hired them. They didn't hire us. When you look at public sector employees, we have titles. And my title, I'm a public servant. I serve the public. I don't serve the state. I serve the public. Now, I have managers and directors that make sure that I am in compliance with serving the public. Now, that's a fact. Every state employees have managers and directors to make sure that they are in compliance with serving the public. But of course, this is where it gets bad at. For many years, we've had bad state government, bad management of government, white supremacy of government. Now, see, the difference between what Europeans, citizens, and we Indians, Europeans know their rights. They know state government works for them because they're educated in their communities about that. That's why they show up to town meetings and make threats to senators, whoever's at a town meeting, town councils. They make threats because white Europeans know their rights and they know that they're not the servant. It is the state government employees, aka we're slaves too. And that's a fact. White people, they will, they'll go in on you in a minute. That they're always at public hearings and they don't play. They blow the whistle all the time. Yep. Private contractors that um feel like there's some bias going on between, giving grants and getting contract. Oh, honey, it gets nasty. And see, that's the part of government that we weren't educated on as a people. Now, Europeans' attitude have always been that it's their government. But what it is, they first had the 13 colonies. That was their government. But because it expanded into 50 states, due to our people, and we're going to get into that today. We're going to get into naturalization, which what are things you're going to see, and why they had such a white supremacy, and why they feel that they have white supremacy over people coming in their 13 colonies. But what they fail to understand is that the 13 colonies are not the 50 states. It was supposed to be a collected effort with the Indians and the Union. And we're going to look at that from another perspective so you could see. We got to look at shit for what it really is now. So let's go. Let's get with it. I was pulling up all kinds. I'm like, oh, God. It's so much because our people are in a wreck. They're in a wreck. And here's something I want you to look at. The first thing I want you to look at. I'm going to make this big. I think I uploaded them. I'm going to let you look at it and read yourself first. And then we're going to come back and revisit it. I thought I uploaded them. First, I'm going to play this video, but let me upload the clips first because that's really important. All files. Okay. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. If I get in the right spot, make sure I'm in the right spot. All right, here we go. Oh, good grief. What the hell? Oh, God. I can't believe I did. I see what I did. There we go. That's better. All right. Here it is. I need this. And I need this. Here's something I want you to read while I open my windows. So I got that and I need this. That's what I needed. All right. I want you to read this, which is interesting. Can you guys see this? I want you to read it. I'm going to play a song and I want you to read. Let me take the banner down so you can read this. First, read this. I'm going to play a song until you and let you read this. Read this, you guys, and I'll be right back.
Long live yeah. These are my memoirs. Light up a cigar, smoke up the memories as I sit and dust them off. Why do people say it's just to piss you off? Ignore them, no call button and then dress too par. Now they can't test the guards, had to defy the odds. It only get tougher back then. We thought times was hard. Told them don't write me off. Told her don't type at all. To all the ones that gave up, this a reply to y'all. That wavy haired kid that you knew been on a tear since. The cries was lower than the laughter now that I'm hearing. The praise for staying committed to something they played with. It was always about us, it's never about who's your favorite. Took my insecurities and made my future more secure. The way we moving, it's like we really been here before. The proof is in the progress from the year before. Furthermore, we wanted to further things more. They took another route, so what you think we kings for? No angel ever said, yo, who these wings for? Ain't no champion ever said, who these rings for? So don't question what God doing, who you live for. Start accepting who you are and what you do it for. Doing less, doing more, it's really either or. Meet them halfway when one close, here go another door. Here go your dreams, what you running for? Head full of steam, cause you want it, huh? But it's in your genes, you was born a star. Yeah, damn, we done came far. The blessings soon pay off. I don't get a day off. Feel like the playoffs, they like, when y'all gonna take off? Dill got laid off, now we focused on trademarks. We just making hits after hits, no aid off. Now they wanna eat off the same plate that I ate off. They really be brainwashed, I sold ain't for trade-offs. Listen to these verses, these are thoughts that I brainstorm. People do me wrong, but nowadays I just pray for them. I've been under pressure, you can't tell cause I stay calm. I need peace and quiet, all I hear is the rain falls. Now all I see is green like my name was Draymond. I is so the brain.
Okay, so you should have already give me a 1. Okay, give me a 1. I want to make sure you guys read that. Give me a 1. Oh, it's blurry. See, they do this crap to you. I hate when they do that. Let me see if I make it bigger. Does that make a difference? When I make it bigger? If not, I'll just read it. All right, so Cherokee Indians. A hot mess. Good. So pretty much all of them in 1866. Now, this is a hot mess. The Creek Indians intermarried with slaves, so their bloodlines were mixed. So the civilized tribes 1866 treaty. Now that you see this, because all these all this is who our people are. But those are not all the tribes. We have way more tribes than that in the southern states. The other ones are just unrecognized. But I'm only sticking here because I want you to see something. And you better believe that it applies, even though this applies to all, even the unrecognized tribes. Now watch this. Now, I want you to remember the Confederate States. Okay? Let me turn my camera on. We don't read this, and let me take this down. Because this is going to get very interesting. You're going to know. You're going to know. Now, you guys, you read that. Now, remember the Confederate states that fought in the Civil War. It was only 11 of them, right? Because the 13 colonies, they only had little pieces of land. And outside of the 13 colonies, all the other land on this landmass were our ancestors. You got that, right? All outside the 13 colonies, all the other land was the Indians. We had our own governments. And the idea of colonizers was always to dismantle the North, the little North. Their whole purpose was to dismantle governments, active governments. Now, if we know that the Confederate States, it was 11 of them, and they went to war, Civil War, right? So now I want you to read this. Look at this for what it is. Now now what you're looking at is where the civilized tribes own land. And look what it says. Read what it says. The Creeks, the historic Muskegee, later built expansive towns within these same broad river valleys in the present states of Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina. The Creek, the Cherokee Indians, originally located in the southern eastern United States and parts of Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina. All right. The Choctaw was in Mississippi, eastern Louisiana, and areas in western Alabama. The Creeks were in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina. The Chickasaw were in Mississippi, Kentucky, Alabama, and Tennessee. And the Seminoles were in Florida. Now, all of those states are Confederate states. All of them. All of them are Confederate states. And they're telling you where they built towns at and all these areas, right? Now, when you're looking at this of the 1866 treaty, all that was dismantling the Negroes' power. Can you see what I see? See, society had you believing in your head that when the North was fighting to dismantle the governments in the South that they were fighting. Let them slaves go. If the Indians had all the land in the South, there was really not that many colonial states in the South. They were all Confederates. Dismantlement of, and I'm showing you, all the Indians, all these Indians, they had literally active towns. Active towns, because these are all the Confederate states. Active towns and everything, right? Now, and all, you see, you thought it was just like everybody was thinking of it from having just Cherokee was just in South Carolina. No, they had lands in just about all the Confederate states, all of them together. They had territories in all the different Confederate states. Let's go here. I'm going to show you an example. See, when people think Cherokee, they think South Carolina. That's the first state that comes to their head, South Carolina. No. Remember this, y'all? Remember this? This is Tennessee. If you see the orange, all that orange, and they sold that little piece of green. That's Tennessee. This is Tennessee. And guess who owned all that portion of Tennessee? Guess who owned all that portion of Tennessee? The Cherokees. This is mind busting. And this is what you got to get in your head now. Where did it go? I got to get back down here. We were all the South. And we were in the North too. Now, Cherokee didn't have any land down here in the North. They had all of the South. This is where you get your Southern, let's say it the whole Bible way. The Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom. Let's just put it to you their way. And there was a great dividing of the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom. The Northern Indians and the Southern Indians. The Northern Indians agreed with foreigners to dismantle the Southern Kingdom, the Southern states, all of them. This all in this time, y'all. In the North, they had governors that looked like me. And it was like a must. They had to have a brown governor oversee the wild brown Indians. They had two governments going on in the North. And they're agreeing, all right, you handle all the black, I'm going to use modern day words. You handle all the black people and I'll handle all the white people. But then there's a problem with the black people and the white people. The black governor got to be the mediator. It wasn't the white governor, it was the black governor. That was the mediator. And that's written in our historical records. Why is the black governor the mediator? Why? Now, you got all this in your head now. Because now we're going to go to the Naturalization Acts. And we're going to look at the Naturalization Acts and compare them and look at them with the dates of the states becoming states. And it tells a whole different picture. Just looking at that alone, you got to keep reading it. And I will share those documents. I'm actually just put them on our website where you can download. It makes it easier to me. You don't got to send out a bunch of emails. Let's look at these acts, which is a hot mess. We got a lot to figure out here, you guys. Let's go there. All right, so we got this up. I got to do a share screen. Now we got that in our heads. Why is there 3 screens up here? That's there. Okay, now you're up there. All right, now this. Oh, I hate this so much. Windows. All right, my window document. All right, y'all, look at this. And I hope you can see this. The 1790 Naturalization Act. Okay. Only, establish the rules for naturalized citizenship as per Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, but placed no restrictions on immigration. Citizenship was limited to white persons with no other restriction on non-whites. Note, this is a restriction on naturalization, voting and office holding, not on immigration. Now, this is 1790. Right? 1790. Now I'm going to get up the states. Let's get the damn states up. Because this shit shows it talks. You better believe it. Let's go there. Oh, that's not what I want. Jeez. I guess I'll just. All right, here we go. Now that was in 1790. Let me stop the share screen. That act was in 1790. Now look at this shit. Who is it applying to? This is 1787. That act, here's who it applied to. It applied to Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, South Carolina, New Hampshire, Virginia, New York, North Carolina, Rhode Island, Vermont, Tennessee. That was literally. Now it stops, right? If it was applied in 1790, here's the tricky part. If that act was written in 1790, right? That Naturalization Act, all right? And I know they changed later. If it applied in 17, if it was enacted in 1790, my question is to you. I'm gonna test your legal skills. If that act was written in 1790, let's get back to it. Oh man, this really sucks. I hate when that happened. Oh. If that act was enacted in 1790, right? Did it apply to? Oh, I hate when this happens. This is why I got to get a better screen. Did it apply to? If it was enacted in 1790, did it apply to states that were admitted after 1790? Did it apply? That's my question. If it was enacted in 1790, did it apply to states that were enacted after 1790? That's the question. That's the question. Did that act apply to damn, she said yes. All right. Hold on, because I'm gonna go somewhere else. All right. Let's go to this one. Let's go to this one. Oh, I can't stand this. It just drives me nuts. Does it? All right. Here's the Act of 1795. Lengthened required residency to become citizen. Again, this is a restriction on naturalization, not on Immigration. Listen, y'all. I'm just going to read them so I don't have to keep swapping screens. In 1798, extended the duration of residence required for immigrants to become citizens to 14 years. 1798, Alien Friends Act authorized the president to deport any resident immigrant considered dangerous to the peace and safety of the United States. It was activated June 25th, 1798, with a 2-year expiration date. Then they had another one in 1798, authorized the president to apprehend and deport resident aliens if their home countries were at war with the United States of America, enacted July 6, 1798, and providing no sunset provision. The act remains intact today as Title 50 of the United States Code, Section 21. Now, 1802, Naturalization Law repealed the Naturalization Act of 1798. Now, 1819, Steerage Act of 1819 required ship captains to report on all passengers entering the United States by port. Right? Carriage of Passengers Act of 1855. Didn't read that. 1864, an act to encourage immigration. Created Commissioner of Immigration with the Department of State and United States Emigrant Office in New York. In 1866, the Civil Rights Act of 1866. That's when it established birthright citizenship in the United States. Now, they ain't have no damn certificates in 1866. They ain't have no birth certificates. They had the hospital records. Or, I mean, a lot of our people were born in their own damn house. 1866 sent the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution for ratification by the states. The amendment was ratified in 1868, establishing birthright citizenship as constitutional law under the Citizenship Clause. This is birthright citizenship. It was some shit. Listen, y'all. 1868 Expatriation Act affirmed the right to relinquish American nationality. Why would you do that? Why would an Indian do that? Why would an Aboriginal do that? Naturalization Act of 1870 extended the naturalization process to aliens of African nativity and to persons of African descent. Other non whites were not included in this act and remain excluded from the naturalization per the Naturalization Act of 1790. Make that make sense? aliens of African nativity and to persons of African descent. 1875. The first federal immigration law prohibited the entry of immigrants considered as undesirable. The law classified as undesirable any individual from Asia who was coming to America to be a contract laborer, strengthened the ban against coolie laborers by imposing a fine of up to $2,000 and maximum jail sentence of 1 year upon anyone who tried to bring a person from China, Japan, or any Oriental country to the United States without their free and voluntary consent for the purpose of holding them to a term of service. 1882 Chinese Exclusion Act restricted immigration of Chinese laborers for 10 years, prohibited Chinese naturalization, prohibited deportation procedures for illegal Chinese, marked the birth of illegal immigration in America. The act was a response to racism in America and to anxiety about threats to cheap labor from China. The Passenger Act of 1882, Immigration Act of 1882, imposed a 50-cent head tax to fund immigration officials. The Alien Contract Labor Law prohibited the importation and immigration of foreigners and aliens under contract or agreement to perform labor in the United States. Payson Act of 1887 restricted ownership of land to citizens and those undergoing naturalization. 1888 Scott Act prohibited Chinese people that had resided in America from returning after leaving. In 1888, authorized the federal government to deport unauthorized immigrants within 1 year of their entry. 1891, first comprehensive immigration laws for the United States. Bureau of Immigration set up in the Treasury Department. Immigration Bureau directed to deport unlawful aliens. Empowered the Superintendent of Immigration to enforce immigration laws. Prohibited polygamists and those with contagious diseases from entering the United States. Expanded immigration enforcement to land laborers. 1892, extended and strengthened the Chinese Exclusion Act. 1893, required additional information about individuals entering the United States. 1903, added 4 inadmissible classes: anarchists, people with epilepsy, beggars, and importers of prostitutes. 1906 Naturalization Act standardized naturalization procedures, made some knowledge of English a requirement for citizenship, established the Bureau of Immigration and Naturalization. 1907 restricted immigration for certain classes of disabled and diseased people. 1917 restricted immigration from Asia by creating an Asiatic barred zone, and introduced a literacy test for all immigrants over 16 years of age, with certain exceptions for children, wives, and elderly family members. 1917 included a provision extending birthright citizenship to anyone born in Puerto Rico after April 11, 1899. 1918 expanded on the provisions of the Antichrist Exclusion Act. 1921 limited the number of immigrants a year from any country to 3% of those already in the U.S. from that country, as per the 1910 census, establishing the National Origins Formula. National Origins Formula. Now, when you look at the National Origins Formula, 1921, an unintended consequence of the 1920s legislation with an increase in illegal immigration. Many Europeans who did not fall under the quotas migrated to Canada or Mexico, with as Western Hemisphere nations were not subject to national origin quotas. Subsequently, they slipped into the United States illegally. The Cable Act of 1922, Married Women's Independent National Act, re- reversed former immigration laws regarding marriage, also known as the Married Woman Citizenship Act or the Women's Citizenship Act. Previously, a woman lost her United States citizenship if she married a foreign man. Since she assumed the citizenship of her husband, a law that did not apply to men who married foreign women. The law repealed sections 3 and 4 of the Expatriation Act of 1907, created the United States Border Patrol, imposed first permanent numerical limit on immigration, began a national origin quota system. Total annual immigration was capped at 150,000. Immigrants fit into two categories: those from quota nations and those from non quota nations. Immigrant visas for quota nations were restricted to the same ratio of residents from the country of origin out of 150,000 as the ratio of foreign born nationals in the United States. The percentage out of 150,000 was the relative number of visas a particular nation received. Non quota nations, notably those contiguous to the United States, only had to prove an immigrant's residence in that country of origin for at least 2 years prior to the emigration, M with the E, to the United States. Laborers from Asiatic nations were excluded, but exceptions existed for professionals, clergy, and students to obtain visas. 1924 granted citizenship to Native Americans in the United States. Native Americans in the United States. In the United States. Now, in the United States, 1934 granted independence to the Philippines territory, recognized all Filipinos as foreigners, established a quota of 50 Filipino immigrants annually. 1934 allowed foreign born children of American mothers and alien fathers who had entered America before age 18 and lived in America for 5 years to apply for American citizenship for the first time, made the naturalization process quicker for American women's alien husbands. In 1940, included a requirement for non-citizenship residents register with the government and be fingerprinted. 1940 pertains chiefly to nationality at birth, nationality through naturalization, and loss of nationality. Repealed the Chinese Exclusion Act and permitted Chinese nationals already in the country to become naturalized citizens. A quota of 105 new Chinese immigrants were allowed into America per year. 1945, exempt spouses and children of American service members from immigration quota restrictions. Exactly, make it make sense. 1946, increased the quota from the Philippines and India to 100 immigrants annually, permitted Filipino and Indian immigrants to be naturalized. Indian immigrants to be naturalized. 1947, extended the War Brides Act to Japan and Korea. 1948, granted permanent residence to displaced persons from Europe. 1952, set a quota for aliens with skills needed in the U.S. Set a quota for aliens with skills needed in the United States. Increase the power of the government to deport illegal immigrants suspected of communist sympathies. 1958, facilitated permanent immigrant status for refugees from the Hungarian Revolution. 1960, authorized resettlement of certain refugees. 1965, Immigration and Nationality Act of the 1965 Hart-Celler Act repealed the national origin quota, initiated a visa system for family reunification and skills, set a quota for Western Hemisphere immigration, set a 20K country limit for Eastern Hemisphere aliens. 1966, Cuban nationals who enter or were already present in the United States legal status. 1974, increased funding for border enforcement facilities. Repealed the 8 USC Code 33139. Indochina Migration and Refugee Assistance Act. Admitted refugees from South Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia and funded relocation programs. All right, listen to this shit, y'all. 1975. Granted certain immigrant children adopted by unmarried citizens the same immigration status as such children adopted by married citizens. Set a quota of 170,000 annual immigrants from the Western Hemisphere and 120,000 annual immigrants from the Eastern Hemisphere. 78, eliminated the hemispheric quota system for immigration, established the Select Commission on Immigration and Refugee Policy. In 78, required approval by adoption agency before an immigrant visa is issued for international adoption. Remove the cap on the number of alien children that can be adopted. Ease naturalization requirements for adopted children. Ban the entry of any person that carried out persecution under the government of Nazi Germany. In 1980, created a policy for admitting refugees with the United Nations definition of refugees, set an annual cap at 50,000. What was it today? 1982, Virgin Islands Non-Immigrant Alien Adjustment Act of 1981 granted resident status to certain non-citizens that have resided in the Virgin Islands since 1975. 1982 gave priority visas for residents of Korea, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, and Thailand that were fathered by American citizens. In 1986, authorized each state governor to select 2 residents of their state to be naturalized on Ellis Island. 86, authorized crewmen of foreign fishing vessels to temporarily enter Guam as non-immigrant aliens. 1986, the Simpson-Mazzoli Act started sanctions for knowingly hiring illegal aliens. I remember that shit. Provided amnesty to illegal aliens already in the United States. Increased border enforcement. Made it a crime to hire an illegal immigrant. Created a path for permanent residency. Created the H-2A visa for seasonal agricultural workers. Yep. Let me see. Prioritize immigration of Vietnamese children with American fathers. In 88, authorized an additional 25,000 visas for immigrants from certain countries in fiscal year 89 and 1990. In 1990, authorized posthumous citizenship for non-citizen service members of the United States Armed Forces killed in the line of duty. 1990, increased legal immigration ceilings, created a diversity admissions category, tripled the number of visas for priority workers and professionals with U.S. job offers. 91, extended special temporary protected status for Salvadorans. 91, granted special immigration status to immigrants that served in the United States Armed Forces for at least 12 years. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, we almost done here. Oh God, I'm not reading all this. No, I'm gonna stop there. Anybody want that, you can look that up. Naturalization Acts. Now, I say this because oh God, I couldn't even finish. I say this because the problem, this is a real problem. This is where the problem lies. Our people have to open their minds and understand these areas are all the Confederate states. All those areas. See, today people's mind, they just go right to Oklahoma. No, they're telling you that we built expansive towns. And everything was dismantled. Who do you think the North was fighting? Who? Let that sink in. Now, this is where you have to open your brains. Why did the North have a treaty? Who do you who do you the North and Indians, United States, had a treaty with the Confederate state Indians to let their people go. That's why Holiday always keeps saying he was letting our families loose. Because they was dismantling the African lifestyle in the South. And if that was us in all those states, who do you think the Northern Indians marched and fought? Who do you think they fought? See, everybody thinks that everybody is under the assumption that the Northern Indians went down there to fight just all white people. When in fact, the Indians had all the lands. And they just don't want you to know who that Indian is. I want to know if you can see that. The hell, this is where the pan boo boos lose at. I showed you who had the lands in the southern states. And and now we begin to have Europeans, white Europeans, starting to push in on those lands in the South, dismantling the governments in the South, that whole lifestyle, that whole way of governing. That's why I said you really need to look at the listen, hold up, let me pull it back up. This tells a whole different story. Whole different story. Because all this happened after the Civil War. All this. It started in 1790. I mean, it started in 1787. I'm sorry. 11 years was 11 years after winning the Civil War. It was a takeover and dismantlement of our government. This is what the stupid pan boo boos don't get. And the ones that cooperated, even though they was warring in their Confederate states, they said, fuck all the other unrecognized. I know no other tribes in the South. And there was over it was over 500 tribes in the South. More than that. They dismantled it. And who do you think they dismantled? Not Africans. Not with all the Negroes speaking Indian languages. Because I'm showing you right here all the Confederate states. I'm showing you all the 5 civilized tribes. I'm showing you all the Confederate states where the Negroes spoke nothing but Indian languages. So who's the fucking Indian? Look at this again. I'm showing you all the Confederate states prior to them being pushed to Oklahoma. This is what you're looking at. This is where they had towns, municipalities, everything in these states. The 5 cooperative tribes where all the Negroes didn't speak nothing but Indian languages. Now, when you read that document, the census, even though that's in Oklahoma, you know what language the Negroes spoke. Well, you think all the Negroes learned the Indian language when they was pushed to Oklahoma? No, they was speaking. They only spoke Indian languages in the South, period. Because they were in all the states, all the Confederate states. And those tribes, the 5 civilized, the 5 cooperative tribes, that's what I call them. Because they the hell with all the other ones that's out here. And they're telling you in their report that all the Negroes don't speak nothing but Indian languages. That's all they speak. So you don't think they spoke Indian languages when they was in Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, Georgia, Mississippi, South Carolina, North Carolina? You don't think that they spoke it back during that time too? I'm going to open up. This is going to be a test because this is a ball buster. You probably won't see it and digest it until you think about it again. Remember, all the Negroes spoke nothing but Indian languages, right? Think about that report. Now, if all the Negroes spoke Indian languages, you better believe they fucking spoke them Indian languages in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, North Carolina, Mississippi, Louisiana, Kentucky, and Florida. Now that's before they were pushed. All those areas are where they lived, which is where their lands, their territories. This is before they were pushed to Oklahoma. So you better believe if they were speaking fluently, nothing but Indian languages in Oklahoma, you better believe they were speaking them in the lands that they resided in too. You You pan boo boos is gonna back up. Because ain't no Africans coming here to speak no goddamn Indian languages. Not a North American landmass. You must be out your damn mind. You must be out your mind. They were speaking those languages before they was pushed to Oklahoma. I showed you their areas that all of them occupied in those specific areas. And the only ones that could sell those lands were the chiefs. The individual Indians could not sell their lands. Only a chief could sell the land. And they all spoke Indian languages, which is aboriginal to this land. All foreigners came over here speaking their damn languages. They didn't speak English all that well. Or may I say Indian language? If that's the case, why did they have to pass the act for one of the naturalization acts? They had to know some English. I'm not going to keep playing with these blinded pan-boo-boos. Look, we waking up people. You can't make this shit up. It doesn't make sense of what they taught you about history. It doesn't make any sense. You brought Africans here. That's crazy. All the Negroes they don't speak nothing but Indian languages. So make that make some fucking sense. If they speak nothing but Indian languages, then who's the fucking foreigner? Because it can't be the Negroes. Why are they not speaking African languages? Why are they only speaking Indian languages? I'm not playing with you stupid people. Not today. They wasn't speaking African language in Alabama, in Mississippi, Georgia, North Carolina. Not to be funny, why don't they even mention that white people with the remote degree of blood? Why them motherfuckers ain't speaking Indian languages? Hey, something's wrong with this here. Why do white people not speaking Indian language? That don't make no sense. You're Indian by blood and you're white, but you don't speak the Indian languages. Therefore, you got to get all the niggers to go around to communicate with all the other Indians in the same locality. Why the white person with the remote degree of blood can't go around and the others speak? Why the Nubians take them? Now we talking before y'all move to Oklahoma, to Okie to Skokie. Why are these Negroes in all the Confederate states speaking nothing but Indian languages? I'm going to let that set in there. Look. Don't tell me they got to Oklahoma. Oh, and now they all speak Indian languages. Nah, money grab. The Indian Removal Act was when? Let's bring it up. Don't play with me today. I'm not playing with these slow Africans. Y'all the ones on the damn slow bus. But y'all probably are African. Because a lot of y'all look it. Let's see, where we at? Where's my little thing? I'm going to find it. Because we need this so we could check shit at the door. Here it is. Now, Indian Removal Act. They didn't get removed until 1830. Now, the 1890 census, all the Negroes, they don't speak nothing but Indian languages. And I showed you where all of them were, what states they were all in, where they had to gather them all up because it took them 30 years to do this shit. The Indian Removal Act took from 1830 to 1860. That's 30 damn years to get them niggas to Oklahoma. So now, you're in the 1890. Wait a minute. Let me get it right. You're in 18. Let's get up here. 1890. Yo, you can't make this shit up. Let's share. Let me get it up. Here it is. I got it. Can't never forget this shit. Here we go. And I'm not going to stay on here long. Now, 1830. Now, 1890. Negroes are frequently met who speak nothing but Indian languages and are Indians by tribal law and custom, and others are met who call themselves Indians, who have not yet been so acknowledged by the tribes. These circumstances necessarily produce some confusion as to the number of Indians separately designated. However, the total population as given is correct. Whatever your Reconstruction is. The difficulties surrounding the taking of the census were augmented by the fact that, in enrolling the Indians, it frequently occurred that it was necessary to equip 2 and sometimes 3 interpreters to accompany the enumerator to converse with Indians in the same locality. Now, you better believe if they're speaking and nothing, if the Negroes don't speak no other language but Indian language, you better believe they were speaking that shit in Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, all them damn southern states, North Carolina, South Carolina, all of them. Why didn't they take the white person with a remote degree of blood around to converse with Indians in the same locality? Why didn't the enumerator take those $5 looking Indians that Shay's son had me pull up a picture of yesterday around with him to converse with the other Indians? It had to be the Negro. Had to be the Negro. Y'all Africans crazy. Y'all crazy. The Q Butter channel. Y'all crazy. Yo, listen. You can't make this shit up. You're seeing all their locations in the South. All right. Then you see the civil war is going down. And the fight breaks out. Civil war. Niggas gone wild. Now they push their asses up there. It was, yo, while they was pushing their ass to Oklahoma so they could make space for them coming. Here they come for the settlement of immigrants. Here you go, right there. You need the nigga. The nigga was a needed man. While they dismantled our government. So stupid, girl. When you come on at 3 a.m. with your stupid ass on the channel, understand that in the time frame you're talking, there were 2 governments going on in this bitch. The little 13 colonial government that they called the United States, because that's all it was 13 little governments, and it was considered to be the colonial states. Then, okay. And then in the South, we wasn't part of that colonial government. Stupid. We were not part of the colonial government, the 13 colonies. Okay? So when you're talking in that time period, it was 13 colonies. Since you want to be the African, you were part of the 13 colonies. You were part of the 1619 Project. We didn't have shit to do with the 1619 Project. That was some colonial government shit. That wasn't our government. I'm not going to keep telling you this shit. Now I bet you your dumb ass will see. When you're talking 1619 Project, you're not talking Confederate state project. That's the colonial government shit. The 1619 so-called fake shit. Two different governments. Our government was on the mainland. Their government was a little country on our mainland. So when you're talking 1619, you're not talking Confederate states. You're talking the little colonial states. Shit. I'm I'm gonna open my panel because I hope y'all see exactly what I'm showing. This shit. Because they're not getting it. There was a government that was dismantled. And she can't get it. The 1619 Project had nothing to do with our government. I'm dummy. Now do you see, chick? Y'all, I'm gonna play a song. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I hope it woke. Some people are woke now. I'm gonna throw this. Let me throw this link in the chat now. Because some people just stuck on stupid. I'm glad Garfield had enough decency to say that this ain't his country. So y'all follow him. You're the 1619 queen. I'll be back, y'all. There's the link in the chat. Just sit in the back while I go to my ladies' break.
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far where I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense. But nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So yeah, don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion. We probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering, I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even at my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself. Yeah. Conscious.
Nobody don't have any questions? No questions? No insults? Come on, y'all got it. I know y'all got it. Bring it up. I'm up here. Come on up. Questions? Concerns? Is that you, Smoke? Yep. Okay. I got you. You can't fix stupid, can you, at this point, right?
No, it's clear now. It's over. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that what you just showed right there. This is why I pay so much attention to you. It's over with. Game over. Game over. There's no other way to
I
shake
mean,
this up. You can't have two governments on one field.
hey, Fistion, Mikey, Ice Water, King Third Eye, Sharice, Karma Sweets. Hey, y'all. Hey, Duke. Hey, listen, Lady Moon, everybody out there, y'all. None of your business. King Third Eye, Enots. Hey, look, Rodney. I already seen Chuck talk. Mickey Ron. Hey, lady, that's you. It gotta be her. That's you. Isn't this?
Yes, yes. Hello,
Oh,
hello,
okay,
hello.
good.
How are you?
Hey, man, I can't be waking up. See, what happens is I'll go up and I'll start watching Abs live, and then I fall asleep. I get sleepy, and then I wake up at 2 in the morning. I can't go back to sleep. And smoke be on. The smoke was on there. Oh my god, it was a horrible argument. Hey, Lady Moon. And
Uh-huh.
I just start watching. I'm like, this girl is crazy. That Renee, Miss Legit, she is a ding dong. I'm like, you talking about the 1619 project?
I think
And
I've
there
seen
was a
that
whole,
before.
yeah. And I'm like, you talking about, she's talking about the 1619 slavery is the Negroes that came from Africa. Now,
Mm.
this shit is funny because when you look at the 1619 project, it's only saying 20 people came. So where is she getting all these millions of Negroes from? I'm like, lady,
It's
it
a
was a
made up
whole nother.
story. It's a mythological fairy tale.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm like, it's a whole nother government going on at the time of the colonialization when they had the 13. And I just showed that. I'm like, all right, so if it's showing that the Creeks, built all these towns and expansions of towns, all of them did. They were, see, they think that the like the Creek, the Cherokee, the Chickasaw, Choctaw, Seminole were all in just one state, one area state. No, they was every damn where in the South. And they had municipalities.
Mhm.
They wasn't just in one place in the South before Indian Removal Act. They was in Alabama. Look at the Cherokee. The Cherokee was in. They had towns and in Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia. They all basically had areas in all of the Confederate states, and they were active governments. And I'm like, what is this broad talking about? I don't. I could not. I'm like, you can't fix stupid at this point. And then I'm showing you all these naturalization acts. I'm like, so who did it apply to? If this is before Indian removal, we're
Mm.
talking 1790. Who are all these naturalization acts being applied to? It's not being applied to the Aboriginal Indian governments.
No.
At all.
So I'm like, this girl is
You know
dumbing
what?
and
And
joining.
it what it looks like now that you brought forth this information, especially on those all those acts that you just read, is that the real slave was the Asian person. And one of the ones that you read, it said that they were blocked from indentured servant, or that's okay. So remember, they told us that at one
Yeah.
point they outlawed slavery, and we were just being transported, like the transport of slaves onto the mainland was outlawed. You just read that, and that was regarding Asian people. So what's happened
Yes.
is they've
Hmm.
told us that we were the slave. It was a whole different group of people. They lied to
Say it
us.
again.
that.
Say it
I
again.
told y'all. I told y'all. I
Jesus.
was like, you can't make this
This is
That's
crazy.
all we
And
read
then you
about.
showed, okay, you showed another the census. And in that document, it talks about the Indian lived in brick homes, log homes, and some other type of structure. But when they show you the Indian on, all these pictures like the one Shawson brought up, those Indians were in teepees. Those are the teepee people. So who were the people in the brick homes?
Exactly.
I mean,
Bingo.
The long
they
houses.
never showed you these people in the brick homes, in the log houses,
Exactly.
right? So those slaves were the TP. They did something with them people. That's crazy. They don't lie to us. This is where our reparations needs to come in, is because they totally stole our identity, transported someone else's transgressions or trauma onto us, and then
Yep.
told us that we were the slave.
Yeah. None of
And they
their
stole, we are the
naturalization
Aboriginal
acts
people.
apply to us. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No.
See, they're not, they're looking at ads just the U.S. little colonial governments had the power over all the land. And I'm like, no, lady, there was two real governments going on. They got, like they always tell us in YouTube, they got their government set up from us because we were already set up like that.
Yep.
In
That's sad.
all these municipalities, these motherfuckers just moved in. They just moved into the structures that was already there in the buildings. And whatever state our dumb chiefs sold to them, like Tennessee, you saw that. That was Cherokee. But Cherokee was in South Carolina. They was in Tennessee. They was everywhere. All of the tribes were everywhere. They had areas everywhere. And they were running, operating governments. And when they got the land from the chief, they just moved into fucking buildings and started operating.
It was already set up for them.
Yeah. Fucking crazy.
It's some bullshit.
Girl, they
It's some bullshit. And it's funny that you brought up that 1619 project. What I just pulled up just off sleight of hand, it said it was a group of 20 and odd captive American Africans. 20 and odd.
Maybe her grandmother was one of them 20.
Oh my God. Oh my God. People need to stop watching movies for real.
See, what I keep telling them,
really,
when you're reading U.S. history, you can't read U.S. history and make a determination of our ancestral history because that's their history. U.S. history is different from American history. Our history is American history, like Chief and A1 and all them tell you. Our history is American history. Their history, on what her dumb butt is speaking about, she can't get out the United States. If you don't come out the United States, you're not going to find our history. Bottom line. You're only going to know about European history.
Mm-hmm. British colonial history, Prussian education. That's it.
And I was shocked to see that they passed something to ban Germans and stuff like that. I was like, wow. Whoa.
Now that was funny right there.
Well,
I didn't even know that.
Because Hungary. Go ahead, Isness.
I think they were trying to say if we were at war with someone, that I mean, to me that makes sense. I mean, I don't know, but to me it makes sense. If we're at war with a group of people, with a country, those countrymen were not allowed to come. And right now we're fighting all kind of internal conflict because we don't have those laws today. So I do understand why a country would say, well, if you declare war on us, you know, your folks can't just come sitting up here. We don't know what's going on. I understand that.
I get that part, but Hungary was a Nazi party, period.
A hot mess.
That's what a lot of people forget right there.
That's crazy. Insane. Like, if you don't...
And then...
Oh, no. Go ahead, honey.
Sorry.
No, you got it, sweetie. Go.
Well, it's saying that... Okay, it's saying that we have like only 100,000 or 20,000 and some odd people were allowed to come in a year or something like that. But if you look at the statistics of people coming into the United States, it's been millions, like millions upon millions a year. You know, I think you went through and you read the population change, and it seemed like every 20 years it was like 20 million people. Every 10 years it was 20 million people or something like that. So what's going on with that? Were people just flooding here and like there was nothing to stop them? Like, I don't understand. Because it's telling you only a certain amount of people. I mean, what you read earlier, only a certain amount of people were able to come here. But if you look at statistically, that's not the case.
It was supposed to have been 3% of their population. 3%. So if they had, let's say,
Yeah,
just like let's say
only
they
so
had like
much.
2
Yeah.
million, right? So we can only take in 3% of 2 million. That's crazy, man.
Mm.
Sister Bethy, thank you. I'm about to go and clip this out because I need to show my kids this.
And I'm looking at
Yeah, it's
you.
pretty
You
cool.
notice the Seminoles didn't have no slaves. Well, theirs was like it. It was a little weird. Look, I'm gonna show you. Let's go back to that document.
Yes.
It's like they didn't. It was really weird when it came to the Seminoles. I know there was a bunch of roughnecks. See there? Check that out. Many runaway slaves went to the Bahamas and Cuba. Seminoles living in South
Mm.
Florida traded with Cuban fishermen, relaying slaves to Havana, sometimes for freedom, sometimes for sale. The spread of American settlement into Indian territory began a national policy of Indian displacement. And that's exactly what the you know what it was.
Yep.
The Maroons were escaped slaves. They ran away from the Spanish owned plantations when the British took the Caribbean island of Jamaica from Spain in 1655. The word maroon comes from the Spanish word cimarrones, which meant mountaineers. So it was it's wow. It's a bunch of different Negroes that joined in them, and they created themselves to be the Seminole. So you could have had Cherokees in there, Chickasaws, Yamasees, all kinds of niggas in there together, and they're the ones who went and built Black Wall Street. Facts.
Sister Bethy, could you pull back up that image that you showed where it was showing where these people were located at in the states
Oh
of
yeah,
their residency, please?
there you go. I
That's
I I
very crucial.
made sure that I wanted to know where was all the lands that like. Oh wait, that's not it. This is it.
That is crucial.
Here it is.
Yes.
Where's all the lands and areas did these Indians live? And these are all, if you count them, it's only 11 Confederate states. This is all of them right here.
That's fucked up.
Now, and this is all of the Confederate states, all the other Indians on the land that were not part of them, these 5 tribes, you better believe they was in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina. Because there was Indians, thousands and thousands of Indians that were not part of Creek, Cherokee, Choctaw, Creek.
So
Yeah,
right. So pretty much they just usurped the land from everybody.
correct.
Because you said a chief is the only one that could sell any portion of the land.
Yep, it was illegal for an individual Indian to sell land. That had to go through the chief, and the United States only dealt directly with the chief, not an individual Indian.
Mm.
And that's in tribal law.
So that's like us.
Governments.
We don't have no idea what we we have no control or no idea what Joe Biden is doing, even though he's in control of the United States. And so it looks like these chiefs were in control, and they didn't act accordingly or appropriately. They started selling too much land.
The reason why, Sharice, because Virginia was a colonial state.
Right.
It was a colonial state. That's why they're not listed, Sharice. But the colonials didn't own the whole entire Virginia, because A1 showed you the Negro that owned the most slaves out of everybody, and that was in Virginia, right? Yeah, it was in Virginia. That's how you know they didn't own the whole Virginia. I think it was just their little small portion, and all the rest of the land, the Pamunkey and all that, they weren't part of the colonials. There were other Indians around in Virginia.
So, Sister Betty, this shows me that what you read about what Benjamin Franklin said, I believe that was Ben Franklin that said that they didn't want too many to overpopulate the whiteness that they brought.
He wanted to only and bring in the immigrants. He pushed for the immigrants from his, like, people that look like him,
Right.
from the European countries. It's a
Pan-Africanism is
wrap. Yeah, it's dead. That's why I said
So when
over with.
no, I'm listening.
no, no, no. You got it. I'm not saying that.
Me either. Go ahead.
All right. Well, listen. Okay, so you see these people that look very like mongoloid. It just what you read just trips me out. Why? It's because it said that they cannot be. So they were brought here with all kind of restrictions from them, either being citizens or not citizens. So they were barred from being naturalized. So I wonder what happened to them. Did they go run onto these reservations for refuge? And those are the mixed people that the chat is talking about. That's the mixture of those mixed kids are the ones who are now the tribal leaders, along with other groups.
No,
But it looks like that's what happened because those people look like they had nowhere to go.
they didn't. Well, I don't think they ran here to the tribes because I'm looking at it, and literally, it's saying it was one Asian on the census. One.
Okay.
One. I'm about
Okay.
to pull it up right now. Here we go. Look, I'm about to share it right now. I be watching every damn thing, girl. I be playing with these damn people. Look at the population. Look at over here on the end. Chinese. 18 Chinese, okay, was there. In Cherokee, one. In
Mhm.
Chickasaw, they had 9. And uh Creek, they had 3. So don't even try it. They didn't come out. They didn't come and make all these people with cheeky eyes. They better go ahead with that bullshit. So he 18 out of all
Wow.
5
What
civilized.
happened?
That's crazy.
That's why I said, do not play with me with your little
Yeah.
Mongolian people, Shay son. I got 8 children, a bunch of niggas. Come on. They
You can't make this.
lie.
Yesterday
Go ahead.
yesterday I missed you guys because he was showing you what the Indian looked like, right? And I have a congressional meeting, and it's all these chiefs sitting up there in Congress with the freedmen. And the one for I think it's Choctaw, he looks like those people that Shay's son pulled up. That man
Yeah.
literally says he's black and Asian. I mean, he's Indian and Asian. So those people really are, like you said, those aren't the Indian people. Those are not the Indian. What he pulled up, those are not the Indian people.
I told you.
Like for
He was
real.
bugging. He was bugging. He's so mad right now that he blocked himself so I can't see him in my chat.
Oh,
Can't make this shit up. Damn. God. Ah.
It make them angry. When you so angry that you blocked yourself from my chat, oh, it hurts.
And you clearly said you have to remove your ignorance when you present this to him. You have to step out your body of ignorance and really look at the facts. You said that.
Yep. I mean, really think about it. When that lady that Dane showed, what's her name? Fannie Mae Lou or Fannie Lou or something? Fannie Lou Hammer or something?
Right.
She run into a Congress.
Uh,
Who you think she was talking about?
Talking about mm.
Indians. And that's why the Indians don't know. We don't want to be a part of that. We ain't ready for that. But that was later, of course, later, way after. They were already by then pushed to Oklahoma. But she talking about her daddy and her family, her boss. But yep, I don't know what app doing, but I mean, I can't I don't want to hold this segment long because I want people to be able to watch it and see this shit for what it is, or a big lie. And they keep trying to throw that Asian in there, and that's not the damn Indian.
No,
How is the Indian? You keeping them trying to keep you making policies so they can't come here.
that's
right,
crazy.
right.
That's crazy. Yeah, you know I'm about to go back and watch this
So you're
tonight.
making
Yeah.
policies that they can't be here, but somehow the people that they present to us look like those people. So there's a switcheroo, a trickaroo. Something is going on,
Switcheroo,
man.
switcheroo.
They do for real.
So it's
It's
starting to make
bad.
me lead to believe
And they
that.
got those poor folks.
Go ahead.
The who?
I'm listening.
The who? They got what? You said they got those what? Those poor
They
who?
got those people, those Cherokees, those poor freedmen, thinking that they were slaves.
Yes.
Those people, they got them thinking that they were the slaves, and they got these other people who have basically cloned themselves into the real to the positions, right? You got imposters sitting up there acting as if they're the chiefs, whether they're from Europe
Yes.
or from Asia, and they're all sitting up there acting like they're the chiefs, and the real Indian is sitting up there like they're the slaves.
Yeah.
This is
It
crazy.
it kind of reminds me of that movie that what's her name? She's so pretty. She played with the Kiki Shepard. Remember, she was her family and all of them was slaves, and then she ran in the woods and ran away and got to the street and almost got hit by a damn car. She didn't know what a car was. You seen that movie?
No, I never seen that.
Oh, people, I forgot the name of it, but they was really in the 70s, and because she was secluded on this white man's land, her and her whole family as slaves. They didn't know that they were slaves. They thought they was in slavery days. They still had on the same clothes. And then she ran away in the woods and ended up on the street and almost got hit by a car. She didn't know what the hell a car was. She saw she was in another time. She was like, that was a good movie. She thought she was a slave. And they went back. They finally, the police and everything.
That's
You
it.
got to watch it. Oh, it's called Alice. Watch the movie Alice with
I'm
Kiki
gonna check it
Shepard.
out.
She's so pretty. She is. She is so pretty. She she played that part because she was running around. You gotta watch it. I want to tell the story, but she was running around there with a little slave dress on and stuff. And child, by the time the end of the movie was over, she looked like Pam Grier. It was good.
Wow.
The
Wow.
movie Alice. Watch that
I'm gonna
movie
check it out.
Alice.
Alice.
Maybe you should watch it tonight. It's you're gonna be like, damn.
Sister Bethy, so can I get this straight real quick? So the colonizers went to the northern Indian tribes to collect the people that was going to go along with their program. So I'm believing that they were converted into Christianity.
Colonizers started in the North, honey. They started when they landed on Plymouth Rock,
Right, but
up
I'm saying
there
to
in
move
Mass.
across into like Illinois or anything above where all our people are from, because they couldn't
Right,
go in there as being European. They had to take black folks with them because that was the only trusted source talking to us.
right. That's correct.
Thank you.
That was the only way. After the War of 1812, of course, then you get the Civil War in 1860, when they marched down there with the Northern Indians, and that was a bunch of niggas from all starting all the way up from some some of the Indians in Canada, the whole fucking Iroquois Confederacy. How about that?
Yeah, that's what it is.
From Canada to New York, and then some in Delaware, and then the tribe from the South. I think it was Seneca, right? Wait, yeah, the Iroquois. They were from the South. Which tribe was that? Damn. Um, the Tuscarora. They're from the South too. But the Mohawk, the Oneida, the Onondaga, the Cayuga, the Seneca, and the Tuscarora, all of them marched their ass from Canada all the way to New York. All those, that's all Iroquois. And they went to South with war in the Civil War. He had to have a bunch of niggas with him to go down there to fight against the South. Because remember, in the South, the Southern Confederates, they had white people fighting with them too. Because they were white slave owners that did not want to stop the African lifestyle. So they had white Confederates and Negroes. And a lot of our families fought on both sides.
This shit is sad.
Mm. And
It
for the
is.
life of me, for the life of me, there wasn't no Asians fighting in our Civil War. Asian looking people.
Nope.
Because
Right.
the people that were fighting were all of the Indian tribes in the South. Those were the Confederates.
Look
Every
how they
last one of them.
look how they just fucked history. That's crazy.
Right.
Because remember, the Cherokee sided with the
And
British
let me
in the Revolutionary War. So I'm like, where's the Asian people, looking people fighting in the Civil War over their lands in the South? None. Only Negroes and white people. And the Negroes is the Indians of the South.
Yep.
That's this shit is alarming.
We are from the soil.
Yeah.
That's it. It's over with.
we're we're from the soil, and then there's another group of people who are trying to pretend to be us. And I still just need to do more investigation because, I was reading that the story that they came over the Bering Strait, that couldn't have happened. That was like impossible. So
Yeah.
what happened and why were those people usurped?
Bingo.
Facts. And like girl 72 says, and I always say this, wasn't no Asian looking people enslaving no brothers. I always show that. That's why I always put that picture up of Pookie and Ray Ray. I'm like, these little funny looking people were not slaves over no Pookies and Ray Rays in the South or the Midwest. Come on, look at Chicago. Who gonna be slave masters over them? You won't be
Good
alive.
luck. Good luck. Good luck with that one. Good luck.
For real.
Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
Michigan either.
Indiana, Ohio, none of that.
None of them.
None of them. It don't.
Niggas in the South is crazy.
It's some straight up bullshit. These people are so indoctrinated. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess I'll roll over at 3 a.m. with her little dumb self. She talking about, I got my papers. I'm like, this girl is holding to her heart her reconstructed records.
Throw St. Louis in that mix. Throw St. Louis in that mix. You ain't going over to St. Louis and doing nothing.
No, you sure ain't.
So
You sure not. You sure not.
Oh my
A
God.
lot of people in St. Louis look like Seminole Indians.
Yeah, I can't go.
They really do. To me, a lot of people from St. Louis look like Seminole Indians. The light ones and the dark ones. They look like Seminole Indians. Seminole Indians are roughnecks. Because it consists of a bunch of former tribal people. They joined and became a force. And they are mixed in with Cubans. I'm not even, they really are.
That's crazy. Damn, Sister Beth, you done did it again.
Yeah. And I think some of the Seminole Negroes, they went to was it Mexico? And then they came back. I read about that. And they let them back in because they were able to prove that they were where they originally were. Yeah, I remember reading that. But yeah, you guys, smash the like button, y'all. I love y'all. I'm about to get out of here. I'll upload all those documents for y'all to keep for yourselves, okay, on the website, and then I'll put it out on the community tab that the documents are there. I'm gonna do it in the morning because I'm tired. I don't know. Hang on, y'all. Go ahead, take it for a minute while I see what this gentleman is gonna do.
Hey, Isness.
Yep.
I know you saw that whole presentation that Sister Bethy did. I know you did. You know what really stood out to me more than anything?
I saw what?
They are in violation of their own laws.
I'm listening.
They're in violation of their own laws that they created.
How do you say that? Why do you say that?
Because they put stipulations on everybody else when they're the actual invader themselves. They created laws for everybody else, and they are the invaders themselves. I mean, Jesus.
Oh, right.
That's
all these restrictions and laws and everything.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you. I was agreeing with you. All these restrictions and laws. I mean, wow. It's hard to stomach that. It was really hard to stomach the information that she just dropped like that.
Well, the audacity to create all these different rules and regulations on someone else's property, right? Well, if you have a baby, you could do this, and if you adopt someone, you could do that, and all this. This ain't their property to be coming up with them rules.
Ain't it though?
It's not their property. The point is, it's not their property. And then once you say, you know, like there's a recent movement where people are like, okay, enough is enough. People are saying that you don't have a right to say that. This is our property. The point is, this is our property. And you have somebody has walked into our land and has made all these rules and regulations and stipulations. And a lot of those rules and regulations are on us. And it's our stuff.
So now I understand why the
Right.
Indian Removal Act was in place now. I get it now. It was to get everybody off that property. They
Right.
needed that land. They wanted that land. So you have to
Right.
go.
To clear it off.
Yeah. Yep. We want the rare earth minerals. We want the resources. Y'all can't be there. Y'all can't be here. Y'all gotta go. This is crazy. Man, I'm about to go dive back in this and do like slow, in-depth detail about it. I think I'm gonna do that and put it up on my Rumble and tag Sister
Yeah,
Mel.
that's why I didn't want to make the segment long because it's a lot to take in, and that's why I kept putting up those little I call them cheat sheets. I call them cheat sheets. These sheets because it looks like a little bit, but it says a lot.
These
It's
are
showing
all
you
Confederates.
all the Confederate states where all their lands. These are all the lands. These are all the states in the South.
That hurt. That hurts.
So I'm like, if you're having a civil war, literally, if you're having a civil war, North and South, who are you fighting in the South?
Negroes. Negroes. And plenty of them too. And plenty of them. That's I don't even know how to I gotta go back and look at this again. This is hard. This is
Mhm.
really hard.
And I'm like, because I'm like, I couldn't think of it for the life of me. Why? Okay, I understand the Jamaicans because their records, we don't have nothing to do with Jamaican government and British government records on them and how they classify them. But I just couldn't think. I just when you have these the pan boo boos that are not, foreigners standing on being African. I'm like, I don't. What is it that keeps making them think that they're African? And I said, oh, the problem is they're not understanding that it's two governments going on, and they're thinking that the 1790 stuff was being applied to the Confederate Indians. Well, our ancestors, we wasn't part of their colonial. They were only 13 colonies. Well, they just started growing, but I don't know, the Indians already had their own governments going on. And what happened later on when we get to the 1860s, which is when the big dismantling took place. And y'all even can attest to there were black Wall Streets in all these Confederate states.
Yep.
And those were the ones that was getting burned down. Something was happening to all the Wall Streets, the black Wall Streets in all the Confederate states.
Yep.
Because they make it seem like Oklahoma was the only one. No. There was some in Mississippi, all the Confederate states.
Oh shit. Why did that just pop in my head like that? So Oklahoma was the last stand, so to speak.
Uh, Pretty much, yeah. But
Because
no,
they
because there was something happening after, right?
well, the reason I say that is because like you just so eloquently put, there were two governments in play. One government had to get rid of the other.
Yeah.
So by them removing everyone from the South, they forced everybody, let's just not even hypothetically, they forced everyone to Oklahoma that wanted to keep some kind of credential identity. And then what happened in Oklahoma? They came and got that too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Right.
Because I mean, I even heard President Trump. He said at one point, he was like, the whole entire Oklahoma is Indian land, which it really was because you have the Indian government and you had Oklahoma.
I wish I can break some news to you about him. I'll just send it to you and let you see it for yourself, though.
Okay. Frederick Douglass had a bag too. Sharice.
Here,
Oh, we be but if we were slaves,
Well,
how was they getting all that money? Sharice. She had Frederick Douglass had a bag. They
oh,
wanted to weaken the
right.
Confederacy. Yup.
yeah.
Um, they are now perpetrating a fraud. Girl, he's 72. Uh, that's funny. She said Frederick Douglass had a bag.
He
Rodney
did.
said Oklahoma is the Federal Bureau Processing Center for Prisoners.
Damn. Damn.
We so crazy. Indians. We let me see. What did none of it? The Mongol look is not unlike the facial characteristics caused by fetal alcoholic syndrome. I think we all getting sleepy. Um,
They said them Indians was drunk though.
we tried to smoke, straight smoke, pale face, and success with the Indian Remove Act, but we still had American Indian elders that wasn't falling for the foolery too. Yep.
Yep.
See,
Right.
our people are swift, boy. See, when you come outside the box, you can start finding everything because then shit don't make sense. I'm like, something don't make sense. That's why, like, something's not right. And maybe now that they'll now look the Pan Africans. Well, now who knows? We had two governments going on this whole time. But they had the little government. We had the big government because there was many of them. We literally did not have a
Right.
united government. They had peace treaties among themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But we had the bigger government. Their government was the little government. They're the ones that had the little 13 colonies.
Hell, Sister Betty, we even had a black governorship in on the East Coast.
Yeah, I
So
always show that
right,
because
so
that's who they was. That's why I always play the two elderly sisters in CBS
right.
because they're from that area. And I'm like, she was like, yeah, the Narragansett, because they were already taught that in little school. You talking about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
1755.
And look at the damn building.
Mm-hmm.
That same building is still there.
Mm-hmm. But let them tell it. We was living in teepees. We ain't know how to build shit. Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah, we worked with brick. We were bricklayers. That's what a lot of our homes was made out of brick. It wasn't all wood. A hot mess. We sure did.
It's in the documents. They talk about it.
Yep. So how do people turn a blind eye to our own excellence?
This shit is funny as hell. Colonial Chester slave London was elected black governor of Connecticut. A slave was elected black governor in Connecticut in 1760. His wife Betty was thought to be an Indian. I'm done. When I read that, I said, you know what? I'm fucking done. I'm like, they just do a terrible job with history. When you try to hide a lie, that's what happens. You have to keep lying.
Gotta keep
And
lying.
you have to keep updating and revising.
Right.
But you can't. The more you update, the more your story don't make sense because you're using modern day words and it don't make sense. It it is it's always going to be a lie when you use modern day words because you
It ain't
can't
old shit.
backdate. Right. You can't right smoke.
Oof. Mm. I'm sorry. This is tough. This is
Yeah.
tough. You just put a nail in the coffin for all of these people that believe. Well, you know what? You are from Africa. You sure are. You came over when these dudes came and got you. You came as servants to them because they came with their own workers. That's what you is. Ignorant motherfucker, man.
These historians and these government
What a great way to
um
take.
oh no, you got it. Go ahead, honey.
Well, what a great way to take your things if for someone to convince you that it's not yours. And so that's what we're seeing today. I don't know what happened yesterday, what happened with our parents and our grandparents, but what they're doing today is trying to convince us that, this ain't even ours, that we're from some mythological Africa country, and it's not true. And so
Wakanda
why are
forever.
they doing that? Is to take your stuff. Wakanda, you from Wakanda.
Wakanda forever.
And it's just and the
Wakanda.
only reason why they're doing that is to take your stuff. Because guess what? If you have, like, say, your little kid and you have a little toy car and someone's talking about it's mine, even though it's yours, but you don't know it's yours, you gonna let somebody take your car. You might. So that's all it is
Okay.
that it's to disarm you from anything that's left of this place.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you, Sister Bethy. I really needed this information today. I surely did.
Yeah. It's like you guys, it's like the
Agreed.
more these historians, yeah, it's like the more these historians keep writing stories and updating their museums, the worse they make it for themselves. Because they're, well, number one, they're using modern day language, right? And then they're going to come around and try and tell you where they got you from Africa. The freaking place you're saying they're getting you from Africa wasn't even created or established yet.
Damn it. Damn it.
Well, I didn't pick up on that. Chief Holiday was the one who came in and said, when you get mad. He said, I ain't got to show you no goddamn sources. Look it up, nigga. When it was established, it wasn't even established yet.
Right.
Dagger upon dagger is what you give these Pan Africans. So if y'all want to keep believing that, so be it. That's where you're from. I'm
You know
not.
what I really want to look into? I really want to look into those Amazon women, them tall ones, the giants. Wasn't they giant women?
Amazonians.
Well, they said
California,
that. Oh, that's where they were. They were
the
fearful,
the
fearless. I know nothing
yes,
about
and I
them.
know some of these people try to say it's a fake story, but what I say is why would they make up a fake story about a black tribe in California if there were no black folks here? It
Facts.
don't it doesn't even make no sense.
No, it don't.
And the reason why they want to
And
say it's fake is because of course black people didn't live, even though it's proven we got bones everywhere. There were black people of the black variety here, right? And so we were here. So how is it so hard to believe that there was a tribe that somebody wrote a story about?
that's true. And you know what I always say? It has to be true because um California, they have so many thousands of Negroes living in California, all parts, right? Now just
Right.
think about this. They
Mhm.
got all these Negroes, and what we're talking about, I'm just gonna put their name, Ice Cube and all of them. They all live out there, right? All these thousands and thousands of Negroes in California.
Right.
So now, let's do this. Look at it this way: California is not part of the United States; it's Mexico. there's your Mexicans.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Yes.
That's how I always look
It's
at that
Mexico.
because it's Mexico. Now, if you figure all those people that live in California that are just like literally from that soil, you're looking at all Mexicans,
You-
Negro Mexicans, and that part of it was sold from Mexico.
Exactly.
Same thing with New Mexico.
Yep.
Or Texas, I think, was Mexico at one point.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Am I correct?
All yes.
Yes.
All of that was Mexico. And look at all the thousands of Negroes that live in Texas. All of that was Mexico. So
Mhm.
now, if you take away the story that Texas and California is not part of the United States, you got Mexico. Because that's where they bought it from or took it from.
Took.
So that's where you need to go look for the records. So while people are looking for United States history, California, United States history, they need to go into Mexico's history and figure out what Spain had going on. And that's where you'll find the people that lived here. Is that it was a whole different dynamic. It was a different country, a different group of people. It wasn't the English, it was the Spaniards. So what did the
Mm.
Spaniards do?
Technically, it wouldn't be um Mexico's history. It would be the Southern
Spain.
California. Right. I hear you. It would be Southern California and Laredo, Texas. Those two
Oh,
places
just
right there.
portions of it, not the whole state of Texas.
No, because those is where the original came into. You follow what I mean? Those are the border states to Mexico. Those are the border colonies to Mexico.
But I mean, I literally thought all of Texas and all of Texas was part of uh, was
Yeah.
Yes.
Mexico
So
Yes.
and California.
All of California was Spain. That's why we have San Francisco and San Jose. And then there's like
Oh,
missions
okay,
all over the place because
okay.
this whole place was Spain.
Spanish.
And I don't know if Nevada went into Nevada, but I know California.
Yeah. New Mexico, Texas, Southern and California. Those all was we took all of that from Mexico.
Right.
We took all of that. That's why I was saying if we can I think I'm gonna dive in that tomorrow once I get done with my event. I'll go and look to see the records from like I said, like Laredo. These are all border states that border colonies of Mexico on US side. That's what I'm looking at. Texas has some great rich history for sure.
Wakanda Springs, California. Rodney,
Great Springs, Spirit Springs was in was in Kansas. Let me
Wakanda Spring.
yeah, he said Wakanda Springs, Great Spirit Springs was in Kansas.
That's what Rodney's saying.
Yep.
Oh, Wakanda Springs, Kansas.
Yes. I'm about to go and look at that
Okay,
up right now.
I'm looking it up. Oh wow,
Yep,
I
it
see
popped right up.
a big ass pyramid. Oh gosh,
Yeah, buddy. I see it too.
I'm about to show this to him.
Situated on the
Gee,
bank of the Southern River.
that's
Blood.
beautiful.
Yes, it is. Yep, that's it.
Wow,
That's the same thing I got. There it is.
Wakanda Springs, Kansas.
So Wakanda is an Indian name.
I heard what wasn't that an African name? Wakanda Springs. Wow, that's a big ass mountain pyramid, rather, or is it a tree trunk? Cause look at the hole in it. It looked like a root. You sure that's not a tree trunk? Look, it got it because these guys are up here looking and down through a hole. You see that? See this hole?
Yes, I do.
I think it's a tree trunk. I know Crystal used to show us this big ass tree trunk in
17.
oh, he said yes. Ronnie said they try to Africanize all our shit. Oh,
That's crazy.
yeah. Interesting. Like when you start looking at records that our people would never like literally look at, that's when you begin to really learn. Because like, how many of our people in our community are really going to pay attention to naturalization acts and then look at the list of states when they were ratified? It don't make no sense.
Wow, I can't believe I'm reading this. Wakanda Springs, from sacred to submerged. Wakanda Springs was a religious and medicinal site for the Kanza and other tribes until it was dammed and flooded in 1964.
There
Oh
you
wow.
go.
There it is.
Plus.
It's an Indian name. Can you believe
Damn.
that?
Wow.
Damn.
And artifacts and things. Um. Oh, Cherie said the hole is a spring.
Yeah.
It was. Oh wow. So there's water in there.
Yeah. Hot spring. Think of like
Maybe
Glacier
it's a
Park.
fountain. Maybe if we go drink it, we'll all be 16 again.
You think so?
That's the fountain of youth. This is the fountain of youth. They have the fountain of
On
youth.
the you.
They always have real pictures and the land site and the land and sites and artifacts and things like that from that time, but they hide the people. You never see a real picture of the people. Yeah. We probably go drink that water and we all probably turn into some superpower people. They probably have that.
Oh my goodness.
Something that they hiding from us that we supposed to
Well,
drink or
again,
it ain't no
they was
six
talking
pack.
about you.
Who?
When they were telling that story, we thought that was an African story and that was an Indian story. Wakanda, like as they said, as the chat saying, Wakanda's here.
And they went over there and built that one.
Or told us about it. Or it made us feel like it was an African story and it's not.
Oh, with them fearless ass fighting women.
Mm-hmm.
See, the water had healing properties.
Because isn't it true that panthers are only found in the Americas? Does anybody know if
They're
that's
not.
true?
I'm gonna look it up. That's all we can really do at this point. Where are they're so
I'm
pretty.
sure there's a
I
lot
don't
of
ever.
genocide happening
Oh,
in
they're saying the panther, also commonly known as the Black Panther, is a large member of the big cat family, native to Asia, Africa, and the Americas. Oh my God! I hope I don't
Okay,
ever
it was
see one of
bigger.
these damn things. You're right. I did not know that. It's saying here, and the Americas. I don't ever want to see one. But Panthers arsenal has cougars and mountain lions in our neighborhood, and they can be found in many parts of the U.S. Could you give me a state so I don't move there? Oh, South Florida. I'm not going there.
Now
I
we
am
do have mountain lions here. We got bobcats here in Kentucky.
I'm petrified of snakes, like rattlesnakes and cobras and
We got them too.
and crocodiles. And I just told my sister, why the hell you moved to Florida where they just walk around downtown Florida?
I couldn't
Mm-mm.
live in Florida. I ain't gonna even sit there and lie. Now, don't get me wrong. I love where I stay at. Now we do have like cottonmouths and stuff like that, but those are in different places, different regions of Kentucky. And just like I said, we have bobcats. Those are in different places of Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to those places. I'm not. No, no. Uh-uh.
I would be scared. I watched the show on TV. You know when they have to call like the police to come and get animals and stuff, dangerous animals.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was watching a show,
Mhm.
and this lady got ready to go to the bathroom, and it was a snake in her toilet.
Toilet. Yep.
Now imagine she had to sat down.
Oh no, that's terrible.
That's why I've now to this day, after seeing that, I turned my um bathroom light on because I used to just go in the bathroom in the dark. I knew where the toilet was. Now I turn my damn light on and I look in the toilet.
My mom sent me a picture of a spider. She lives in Arizona.
Oh
Sister
God,
Becky,
I hate spiders.
take your hand. Just look at your hand. The spider was as big as your hand.
That's a damn tarantula.
That's what I'm telling you. I can't live in no place like that. Not none. No, no.
My cousin Alan had a tank and he had tarantulas in him. And they were his pets. And he put a couple of $100 bills in there. And anybody that came over there, he said, if you can get the $100, you can have it. You know how long I was staring at that thing? I was like, I know I could grab that damn $100.
Bullshit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You don't know how he was feeding them. That'd be my whole thing. Cause I got a cousin of mine. He had one of those boa constrictors.
The what?
A boa constrictor. He had a boa constrictor, a snake. He was one of them reptile guys, like for real. He still got this snake, and it's probably about a good.
I never understood people that have snakes for pets and they be carrying them on their neck. That
Yeah,
snake could kill you.
that's what he do. He carried this on his neck. You absolutely right. But the only time they can do that is after they have been fed. That's when they become the most docile. They don't want no more. They're full.
Do they're notorious for turning on their masters, snakes.
Don't feed them. If you do not feed them properly, oh yeah, they're gonna take a bite out your ass. Straight up. If you don't feed them, they gonna get at you.
Well, the
'Cause
snake must not be poisonous.
no, boa constrictors are not poisonous, no. But they can bite. That's all I'm concerned with. They can bite.
I don't like them at all. I don't like them, especially the cobras. Like they really have like this silhouette, and they be looking at you. As I don't like snakes. I don't like them. I'm scared
You
of
ever
them.
seen them
Petrified of them.
videos of like them Indians hitting them on their head? and hitting cobras, king cobras, hitting them on their head with their hand and making them into like almost like they're a pet or something. I mean, you done seen Africans walking around with hyenas.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, in these different places, these folks literally are taking the biggest, baddest things and trying to domesticate them. And to me, that is like, are you serious? Because the moment you don't give it what it wants, it's gonna eat you.
what if who is it that is it the people from India or Arab that plays the flute and the snake will come out?
You got two factions, two areas, both that does that. But main so that I've seen, it's in India.
Wow.
And then you do have some that's in let's just for better terminology, like Middle Eastern, but it's more easternly of the Middle East, if you will. Those people play with those animals, and I'll be like, I can't never. I'm gonna shoot that. Mm-mm. I'm shooting that.
Yeah, I remember Aaliyah did that video with that snake. I don't know how they do that. Oh my goodness.
Sister Betty, thank you again. I have to reiterate this. What you
Yes.
showed today was the groundbreaking timeline that everybody needs to focus on.
Yes. Facts.
And I thank you too.
Well,
I thank you for all the documents and actually to show how to look these things up, because now I know how to look all this stuff up
yes, we need to
where
go.
before I didn't. And it's like so easy to just
Yep. Look them up and read them and study 'em because it just tells so much of a story and it exposes so many lies, man. Because I'm like, this don't make no sense. You got a 1790 Naturalization Act, but who the fuck is it for?
You know exactly who it was for. Straight up.
Pan-Africanism is dead. I heard that.
Africanism is
Yes,
dead.
it is, Reese. Well, I'm gonna put y'all over in Ab Powers chat. He's got a good segment. Sean P. Whoever that is. Who is Sean P? Come get the work from Jagger Omac.
See,
Lucky versus
That's that
Sean P
nasty
was
little
just another
dude.
pseudo bird, another pseudo person. That's it. With his Prussian education, that's it.
But he's
Oh, I
old
don't know
enough
who
to get
that
up in
is.
these guys' face.
You're welcome, girly girl.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but they're supposed to be having some um OTK versus Azo face off. Lucky
Yeah,
versus Cosman Cal. And Sean P. I don't know who he is.
nothing to Sean P.
You
But
may you welcome. This is Dion.
if I could to King Third Eye Supreme, yes, that guy's name was Steve Irwin. He jumped in the ocean and thought he can go play with a stingray, and that stingray gave him the business. That's why he's dead.
I was reading something that came through, and it said just before it says a man believed to have fired shots at officers before a Virginia house exploded is dead.
Yeah, I saw that earlier today.
A massive house explosion
Yes,
in
I mean
Virginia.
massive.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
looking at
almost
it
thinking that
now.
it's got to be some kind of. To me, you don't get an explosion like that unless it's natural gas or something else. I should just say. I just want to rest it there though. But the explosion of that nature
What?
either comes from
Hey,
natural gas.
Smoke.
Go ahead. It's
Huh?
Hey, Straight Smoke. Was it the explosion in Kentucky? Were you around during that with the train?
yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I remember that.
Wow.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm gonna share this. Hold up, y'all. I think it's here. It is. I wish I knew what happened. You welcome, comment sweets. I'm gonna show y'all this. Oh damn! I don't want to get no. They're gonna tell me I can't monetize. but it's saying that, oh, it's in Arlington, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could put this up. I could put the thing up, right?
Put your Fair Use Act up.
Yeah, I got that up. And this. I got my fair use. Hopefully it'll let me
Yep.
hopefully
There
it'll
you
let
go.
me
That's
share
what I
this
was gonna
crap.
say.
This guy is saying something about it.
It's got to be gas.
It's saying, all right, why is this shit not playing? Oh, duh. Can y'all hear it? It ain't talking yet.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Oh, no one's talking. Damn.
Well, I was sitting in my living room watching television, and the whole house shook from the sound concussion. It wasn't an earthquake kind of tremor, but the whole house shook, and I could hear noises from things on the second floor. Noises from something, stuff shaking up there, and I thought a tree had fallen on the house. And I've got two huge trees out front. Went out and checked them. No, that wasn't a problem. Went out back, and I didn't see anybody else's trees falling down. So then I went outside and I saw people
Ready
heading
now?
down the street.
Okay. Okay. That's crazy. I wish I knew more. I'm gonna go upstairs and look and see if I could find out what happened. That's crazy.
Hey, Sister Bethy, whenever you see an explosion, always look at the color of the fire and the smoke. It
What?
lets you know. It lets you know if it was natural or unnatural.
So how would you know which one was natural and which one was unnatural?
Because you got to understand how with things. You know what a tree burns at. You know what gasoline burns at. The colors. That's what lets you know whether it was natural or unnatural. Look at the coloration of them.